time to go. It's time. Starting late, but still starting. And check this out. Wait till you get a glimpse of this. Look at that. Well, okay. Don't look at that. Look at that battery, though. Yes. Full battery, baby. We're living the dream. Okay. So, yeah, let's get right into it. So I'm trying something new. If you'll notice that this page and this page are blank. We got some art on the next ones, but those two pages are blank. I'm gonna try to do with this handy little book. I'm gonna try to do some sort of like live drawing, so I can focus more on the commentary. You know, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. This is the last Draw My Project we're doing. It's a very sad moment, I think, for all of us. And you know, I just wanted to try something new for the last one. So let's balance this. Whoop, there we go. Okay. So we got, oh geez. Question number 1. How do the cultural norms and traditions of the region affect the way we interact with people from this region? Okay, so Africa has a real cool tribal history, and all sorts of, interesting, they're an oral people. They pass down traditions orally, and whenever you do that, things tend to stay like, really constant. Like you got long timeline of Africa, and they still have all the traditional garments. They got like the weird like gown things with like beads, like those are still worn in like festivals and whatnot. I don't know. They're like dancing. They're dancing. Yes. So now look at this silly rotate. Yes. So they have this really rich tribal history with all sorts of neat stuff. Here, let's see what I actually wrote. Oh no! See, this is the problem with the book, is that it's unstable and doesn't work. Wouldn't it be funny if I just... Now it's upside down for the rest of the video? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so they've got the ancient dances and artwork, and those get shown today through, like, festivals and stuff. And, that festival-based culture and the percentage of African nations that are, like, third country and impoverished have led, to, like, the stereotypes about Africa, which is, like, it's underdeveloped, and they're not really providing anything. They're just sort of like, they're all just starving out there, and give them water. So I'm like, give them some water. That's actually a 6. Sure. Give them some water, and you give them a bread. That is not true. Those are stereotypes. They're not accurate. Africa has a rich culture, full of innovation and big buildings, I guess. Several windows. That's how many building it is. It's got radio towers, sending out some signals, and then you've got like Wakanda, right? People look at Wakanda and they don't even see it. Like, they made the shield. Their cap, and they got vibranium. And you're telling me they don't... I'm sorry, I'll stop. I won't do any more Marvel stuff. There you go. That's the cultural traditions. We just got to keep in mind, when we're dealing with, like, African nations, that they're not impoverished. Like, not all of them anyways. Like, there's obviously some places. But, like, keep in mind that Africa can totally, like, produce valuable things to the world, and it has and continues to. Like back in ancient Rome, they would always say, like, the guys would be like Roman kings. There's a quote. It's like something in Latin, but it translated, one of the Roman kings back in like early colonial periods was like, something new from Africa always is like a new shiny sphere. Like, Africa was really, for a while, like, at the forefront of the technological industry, and it was colonialism, which is what we're going to be getting into soon, that sort of ended that. So how has the history of this region politically, socially, and culturally divided the African continent? And instead of just focusing on the more recent stuff, like the Berlin Conference, divisions of Africa, I'm going to go into some of the older history, And a guy that I really like to learn about historically called Mansa Musa. He's a guy with a cape. Yeah, see, he's this guy, and he's a king, and he's got gold bars, you know, and he went on, honestly, one of, like, this, in my opinion, stupidest historical bragging rights moves, like, ever. And he just, like, went all over Europe, all through here. He's running around, you see him, he's getting in there, he's selling stuff, and, he's basically just, like, giving away money, and then he goes back to Africa, and everybody's like, well, I guess we better go to Africa, pillage the village. They didn't do that, really. Like, they pursued, you know, like, obviously diplomatic deals, but it sort of became a dominant relationship at some point. Boom. I'm making a mess. I got some Parmesan packets. Ah! See, this is what happens when I try to do visual jokes. It makes a mess. It makes a mess so quick. Alright. Here we go. Fixing it one more time. Alright. Let's finish our conversation about Mansa Musa. So Mansa Musa was, he was going all over the place, and then everybody came back to Africa, and that sort of started the, it was the grassroots of the transatlantic slave trade. And it was also, like, sort of, the leeching down of, colonization from Europe up here. They just sort of leached down. And this is right here in Ethiopia, the only place they didn't really get to. Good job to Ethiopia, standing strong. Thumbs up. Ethiopia did a good job, I think, at staying non-colonized. Or maybe they just didn't want it. I don't really know. But that colonization that started from Mansa Musa's original journey did end up fracturing Europe, because, how do you make it look like you're a strong empire? And if you're a European country, how do you make yourself look, like, important, so people don't come and invade you? You invade other countries, which historically has never been a good idea, But they did have an industrial era, sort of advantage over Africa at the time. So they were able to conquer Africa pretty seamlessly, and, start using them for their own, economic and political gains. And that that basically shut down Africa's political development. We'll get more into that later, but colonialism was really just bad for native people, so that's it. That does transition really well into the next point or question, which is, how does colonialism affect the African countries? I think it's that. Let me see. Get the question right. I'm going to go into handheld now.